advisor to the Trump campaign, top aide to the president. Stephen, it's good to have you with us. Appreciate it. Let's start with what you saw there in Valdosta. Thousands, tens of thousands of people. And across the country, the same thing. And we're supposed to believe that this president is an unpopular president and just got beat despite all sorts of evidence to the contrary, suggesting that this was the most fraudulent election in presidential history. Are you and your colleagues in the White House and this administration going to be able to prove that in the Supreme Court?
The answer is yes. And you're right, Lou. No president in history running for re-election received more votes than this president. And unlike his opponent, these were real votes from Americans who are lawfully eligible to vote in this country, most of whom showed up in person to cast a ballot. I want to break something down for your viewers, Lou. This year, more people voted by mail than ever before in American history. This was done by Democrat election officials using the virus as a pretext to allow people to vote by mail to tens of millions more than ever happened before. And yet, despite voting by mail to a degree never ever before in American history, the rejection rate on ballots was the lowest level we have ever seen. In Georgia, as one example, the rejection rate in 2016 was 5.5%. Sorry, 6.5% in 2016. 6.5. This year, it was 0.5% or less. That variance alone gives Donald Trump the state of Georgia. In the state of Wisconsin, where Democrat county officials violated unconstitutionally their own state laws to allow absentee voting from people who had never filled out an absentee application, that alone gives Donald Trump the margin of victory. In the state of Arizona, you remove non-Arizona residents and non-citizens, he has the margin of victory in Arizona. Those three states, those three corrections, that alone gives Donald Trump 4 more years in the White House.
The president in Valdosta asked for a hero to step up here because there are very few people who have stood up, whether it's in state legislatures, whether it's in law enforcement, whether it's the attorney general. Senator Ted Cruz just stood up, offering to argue the case for the president and for free and fair elections and against unlawful elections, fraudulent elections before the Supreme Court. Your reaction to his offer, which seems propitious and extraordinarily valuable to the president's interests?
Yes, well, we salute the courage of Senator Cruz. And you're right, heroes do need to step up. And that means heroes in our state legislatures need to step up. In the state of Georgia, we need signature matching. We need signature verification. This ludicrous consent decree, this illegal consent decree that wiped away signature verification requirements, that was entered into, by the way, with the same law firm, Perkins Coie, that brought us the Fusion GPS disaster, that needs to be voided, and we need to have signature matching.
Let me raise my hand. We know about Perkins Coie. You know about it. So does the RNC. So does every PAC in the country, every Republican donor. But they ignore everything they do. Mark Elias, why don't you guys put together $500 million and go hire him and get him out of your way? It's extraordinary. The president warns for months and months and months about mail-in ballots and the potential for fraud, and the Republicans do nothing, Stephen. Nothing.
It's an outrage.
Is wrong? Well, what's wrong with the Republican Party?
Where is the outrage?
It's really on the
tens of millions of ballots.
Where the hell are the Republicans?
No signature checks.
Where the hell are the Republicans?
You're right,
Where
Lou.
are they?
Tens of millions of ballots nationwide, no signature checks, no citizenship checks, no residency checks, no age checks, no criminal record checks, not even checking if you're alive or dead. Are we a third world country? Are we a banana republic? What does it come to? If you count only legal ballots from U.S. citizens,
let me tell you what
this president gets 4 more years.
Let me, and you know, from your lips to God's ears, the reality is that this president right now is fighting, and let's be straightforward about it. He's fighting all alone. And Ted Cruz has stepped up to say he'll argue before the Supreme Court. Why in God's green earth wouldn't the White House jump on it? Why shouldn't they accept that right now?
And I'll just say this one other thing, though. If 3 state legislatures I just outlined, one correction in Wisconsin.
No, Stephen, I won't let you say. I'm not going to let you do this. I'm not going to let you do that. I'm not going to let you do that. I ask a question. You and I, we're reasonably smart and decent fellows. Why don't you answer me? That's all I'm asking here, Stephen. Why don't you guys jump and salute Ted Cruz and say, yes, we want you on the team now? My God, this is not a time for internecine nonsense on the part of the Republican Party, which is watching its blood drain into the streets because they're gutless.
But you're right, Lou. You and I are great friends, and we have the same mind and the same thought on this issue. We are simpatico. And it is time for everyone involved in this process to stand up, do right by country, do right by God, do right by their conscience, and stand for the principle of one citizen, one vote. You'll have no argument and no quarrel with me on that, Lou. Not now, not ever.
Except for one thing. What I asked you about was Ted Cruz.
Well, Lou, as you know, I'm speaking today as a representative
and welcome him into the leadership. I know you are. I know who you are, and I know what you do. You know me, and you know what I do. My job is to get answers to the questions I ask.
And Lou, you're entitled
Especially
to that answer,
from my friends.
and I'll see to it that you get the answer. As I sit here today, Lou, I'm not in a position to make that decision, but I'll get you that answer, Lou. But at the same time, we cannot let the Constitution give state legislatures the obligation to slate electors. And we cannot let our state GOP legislators off the hook.
Stephen, you're one of the great Americans. No one has worked harder for this president than you.
Thank you.
I mean, I have got the greatest respect
and
for
I will
all
to my last breath,
and will accomplish for this president. I know that.
And I will to my last breath.
I've got to ask you, why are we dealing with a Justice Department that has a election crimes unit, and they don't give a damn about the election crimes? We have an attorney general that wants you to believe that we didn't have any fraud. They didn't find anything of any significance or sufficiency to suggest that the outcome of the election should be otherwise. These people are either damn fools or they're damn liars. Either way, the American people are suffering at the hands of an absent Justice Department, election crimes unit, voting rights division. I mean, God, what in hell could we do more to wonder what has happened to this country? What more could we do to screw it up? It's amazing. We need a fix now. And I want to say thanks to Senator Ted Cruz for stepping up, one of the few, and Stephen Miller, who is in the war every day and every way.